This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. We are here in Las Vegas and I'm joined by former multi-weight world champion Mikey Garcia. Mikey, firstly, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It was a great event today. You know, we were excited to be here and, you know, experience the kind of atmosphere, the energy that, you know, these two fighters bring.
Talk about the atmosphere, the energy. There's only one man in boxing who can draw that type of audience for a weigh, and that is Saul Canelo Alvarez. What's it like from your perspective watching as a fan now, not as a fighter?
Well, like I said, you know, now I get to enjoy coming out here and actually, you know, enjoy it as a fan. You know, even though I'm working behind the mic and everything, but I can actually enjoy it versus when I'm the one in the back, you know, you're starving and you're cutting weight and all that. I'm done with that, you know. So, but overall, you know, you get to experience the energy. The crowd, you know, was very supportive. You know, you had, I don't know, some like, it looked like 3,000-4,000 people. I don't know. It was a packed area here. And, I mean, that's what people want to see, you know. People want to see big fights, and they want to see the big names fighting each other, and that's what this is. You know, you got, you know, Canelo and Triple G fighting a third time. Both of the first fights were great fights, you know, and it could have gone either way. You know, I could see the argument for the decisions, but that's why we're here a third time.
The trilogy fight was always going to gain a load of interest, Mikey. A lot of people have kind of suggested, I think Canelo could end up stopping Golovkin towards the later rounds. Do you think that is something we could see on Saturday night?
I mean, anything is possible, and you could see anything. Canelo has hinted and said that he's going to look for that knockout victory. He wants to make a statement. So don't be surprised if he puts on a lot of pressure and looks for a knockout. But at the same time, I can, you know, not see Golovkin doing something. I can see the fire. I can see that hunger in his eyes. You know, winning tomorrow night would erase the past two decisions and would put Golovkin at the top, you know, of boxing. So I think Golovkin has a lot of fire in him. You know, and a lot of people were also thinking, well, maybe the weight, moving up in weight might hurt him. I think it's going to help him. He's been fighting at 160 his whole life, and with the age, it only gets more difficult to cut weight. This time, you know, moving up a few pounds, 8 pounds north, might actually have helped him. He might actually feel better and stronger. So those are all the variables and factors that we're going to, you know, get to see tomorrow night.
What is your pick for tomorrow night?
No, I really don't have a pick. Honestly, I think it's a very even fight. I think both have a lot to prove, and both want this fight very, very much. Neither one of them wants to just go in there and walk away, you know, a loser. I think it's a great fight. I think it's a fight that the fans are really going to, you know, very, very memorable for the fans. So the fans are going to enjoy it more than anything.
Mike, I've also got you. Just want you to take me back to Saudi Arabia. Obviously, Anthony-Joshua training with Robert. Fell short on the night, lost Alexander-Usyk in their unified title fight. Just get your reflections from that performance and the fight.
I think it was a very good performance. I think he fell short. There was maybe 2 rounds that, you know, he maybe could have done a little more, and had he done that, you know, I could see the fight going the other direction. You know, it was a competitive fight. He definitely improved from the first fight, so you do see the difference in the fights. I think there's still more to learn, a little more to learn from each other between my brother Robert and AJ. We'll see what happens next. I heard that he might be fighting in December, so I mean we gotta wait to see what the next fight is. But I was happy to see the difference. You want to see the improvements, and you did definitely see that. So that can only show you that with a little more time, maybe another fight, you'll see an even better AJ.
Before we come on to the obvious fight, next question, just on his work with Robert and Angel, that both of them came in for criticism after the fight for their corner work, and Robert saying to AJ he felt he was 3 rounds up from the first three rounds in the fight. What have you made of the criticism thrown at your former trainer, but your brother more so importantly?
I mean, everybody can be an expert from the outside, you know, but they were not the ones, you know, in training camp. They were not the ones watching AJ, you know, train for so many months, because it was months. They don't know what goes on behind. So it's easy to criticize sometimes, whether it's positive or negative. It's easy to have an opinion on a matter when you were not the one there. But I think they did a very good job. I think Angel, I think Robert, I think the whole team did a pretty good job of changing, you know, the fight and actually making AJ, you know, fight the way he did and improving him. So that shows that the team was working well. Like I said, maybe they needed another fight before that. Maybe they needed another fight to get better, adjusted to one another. But even as it was, I think it was a pretty good camp, pretty good turnout. Could there be improvements? Of course, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to adjust and make improvements. So I can really only wait and see what else is in store for them in the near future. If they get it together, work again, it's only going to help.
What seems to be next is there's a lot of talk about that Tyson Fury fight which has been offered to Anthony Joshua. Would that be the right and correct move for him, or as I spoke to Robbie yesterday, he said he'd rather Anthony have maybe 2 or 3 fights and then build into a Fury fight?
I mean, in the end, the final word is AJ, and maybe a little bit of advice from his management team. I personally would suggest to do a few other fights before that, maybe 2 fights, just to get back in the rhythm of things and allow the team to work better and improve more. But like I said, in the end, only they have the final word. If they do decide to go after Fury, then we're gonna try to work together the best that we can. And when I say we, I mean my brother and the whole team, because we gotta support each other and gotta help each other. When I fought Errol Spence, my dad, my brother were not really happy about that decision, but I made that decision, and they did the best that they can. So in a similar way, you have to support your team and do the best that you can. I personally, like I said, would rather see him fight 2 more fights just to get better acclimated to one another. I think they can do a great job, and it's a whole different fight between Fury and Usyk. It's a whole different fight. So we can definitely find a way to work together in that direction. But like I said, the last call is on them.
Just quickly, Mikey, there's some reports coming out that a deal's been agreed between your former foe Errol Spence and Terence Crawford for that undisputed welterweight fight. When it comes around, who do you lean towards?
That's a 50-50 fight, man. But I mean, if I really look at it, I think I'm gonna have to lean a little bit, not by a lot, but just a little bit with Crawford. I think he might have a slight edge, just a little bit, but dude, it's such a close fight. It's a great fight. That's what makes it, very, much anticipation, for that kind of fight, because you want to see the best fighting the best, and those are the 2 best in the welterweight division.
Mikey, just very quickly, how are you enjoying retirement? I'm
chilling. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I get to do a few little gigs here and there, like today, behind the mic as a special guest invite, and that allows me to also enjoy the show without having to worry about training or diets and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying it very much. I'm happy, with my decision. I'm happy with all the fans that still show lots of love and support to me, wherever I go. So I couldn't ask for anything better.
Mike, obviously you've had a tremendous career. I appreciate you doing this interview. Thank you for speaking to me once again.
Welcome, man. I appreciate all the love and support, man. Everybody.
Thank you, Mikey.